Okay, so it's your master trader with the lovely Kath, and we are now going to be literally running through our easy trading course. And basically, this is an assessment because at the end of the day, we've got to tailor, everybody's different. So what we need to do is tailor the course according to the needs of the individual. But what we can say is there is going to be a minimum of 20 hours. So there are 2 hour sessions, 10 sessions. So there's a minimum of 20 hours that we put everybody through. Some people now, after that, might need more, but this is how we do it so that you learn our what we call terminology because we speak a different language. So here we're going to run through an assessment right now with the lovely Kath. Okay, so Kath, are you ready?
I am.
All right, so here's what we're doing. The first thing we want to do now is we need to make sure that you're teachable and coachable. Okay, because if you're not teachable and coachable, we can't do anything. So if you look at the first slide now, it says SSNK. So at the bottom here, you see SSNK. All right, that's very, very important. So I'm going to break down what that means. Basically, in order for you to be successful or for you to go from A to B, all right, and achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve, these are four fundamental things that you need to do. And this is based on my 35 years of teaching and helping people to get results. First of all, you have to put skin in the game. Yeah, whoever it is that is in a position to help you, they put skin in the game, and you come along thinking that you can just ride off of them without actually wanting to put anything in the game. And if you think about a mortgage, they're not giving you the house unless you put up, even if it's 10% or whatever they're asking for, they need to see your commitment. So you have to have a mindset that says, I'm willing to put skin in the game for value. Right, so the first S is skin in the game. The second one is show up. Just because you put skin in the game doesn't mean you're going to get results. Okay, so you need to show up. So I'm happy that you've showed up for your very first session. All right, so skin in the game, show up. The next one is never give up. So just because you put the skin in the game, just because you showed up, that doesn't mean you're going to get the results. Okay, you now have to commit to never giving up because you're coming here because you're trying to achieve something. And so throughout this course, we're going to use the theme of driving. And the reason why we're using the theme of driving is because most people understand what's going on there. Okay, you're not going to get that driving license if you don't show up for your driving test. It's just not going to happen. And you're certainly not going to get the driving license if you don't prepare for it by showing up for your driving lessons. So when we think about showing up like that, we get the message. But what we also want to talk about is never giving up. So just because you showed up, you might have some sticky points like you've stalled, or you failed your first test or something. You just don't just give up just because you failed your first test. Yeah. Okay. So
Absolutely.
you have to commit, Kath, to never ever giving up. And then the last one is keeping it moving. So, okay, so you failed the second test. You still can't just say that's it. You're going to keep it moving. You're going to keep it moving until you've achieved what you set out for. Okay, so if you want the driving license, you put the skin in the game, you show up, you never give up, and you keep it moving. That's the formula that you need. Now we're going to change that to trading because there's not much difference. All we're doing is changing what we call the content. Okay, that's all we're doing. So, any questions about the first slide, please?
No, I think that's quite a good sum up, really, isn't it? If
Yes.
you remind yourself of that every time, you know, that's not a bad thing to remind yourself of, I think. That's my initial takeaway.
Good, excellent. And what I also want to say is this is the theme of the easy trading with me. Okay, so anytime you feel like, oh, it's getting sticky, I'm going to remind you of SSNK, okay, which is listen, you committed to this. You said that you were going to put the skin in the game, show up, never give up, keep it moving. Remember our first assessment? This is what you committed to. I committed to it. So, what's the problem? Any questions?
No, that's lovely. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. So, we're going to move on now. So, that is that's it. That's where we start. Now, let's say you didn't want to put the money up. Then we're not going any further. It's bye for both of us. It's over. So we got to get past the skin in the game. We got to get past the showing up. Now, imagine I've taken your money and I didn't show up, and you didn't show up. Bye again. Okay. So every one of these becomes a milestone. So the skin in the game, we got past that. The show up, we've got past that. Now we still got 2 more hurdles to jump, which is the never give up and the keeping it moving. Simple as that. Now we move on. What I need to do is I need to show you the end. It's like if me and you said that we're going out now, you don't know where we're going because there's no destination. So what I'm showing you is the destination first. Okay. So I'm showing you the destination. I'm sure you'd like to be in a position where you put 100,000. Okay. Not everybody got 100 grand. So find the figure that works for you. So if 100 grand's too much, then, you know, go down to 10 grand. And if 10 grand's too much, then go down to 1 grand. And if 100 grand's not enough, then go up to 1 million. You know, I'm only using these numbers just to get some idea so that you get an idea of what the destination looks like. Okay, so the destination is you put in 100,000, okay, and within a few days, you got like what 1,900 profit there, and then 3,540, and then in a week, okay, you've now got, hold on a minute, let's get the slide to work. So we've got a little bit of a pink elephant here. So in a week, you've taken 100 grand to 100 and equities, what you've got physically got 13% in a week. Okay. And that, if I go back, which is very important, that was from a robot.
Wow.
That was from the easy trading robot. So you set the robot, it's doing what it needs to do. And now in a week, you got 13%.
So in a week, it made 13,543. Is that right?
Yeah.
And 55p.
Yeah.
And is that US dollars? It's US dollars, isn't it?
That's US 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. No sitting there 2:30 every day waiting for a thing and guessing whether the thing's going to go up and all of that. You just set and forget. Now, does that mean it's going to do it every week? Of course not. But at the end of the day, I'm showing you what a robot can do, and it was programmed to buy and sell. Look, buy and sell. Imagine if you just programmed it to catch the trend. Now that would have just gone even more crazy, because now you're not just going in both directions, you're actually following the trend. So that would have been even more. So I'm just showing you what's possible. Okay. So feedback on what I've just showed you, please, so I can so you can see what's going on here. Feedback, please.
Yeah. No. So I like the idea of the end game.
Yeah. Okay, you got to know your destination. If me and you right now, even though we can drive, and I say let's go out now, and none of us know where the hell we're going. We don't even know if we're going north, east, south, and west. We can't even move off the car because we don't even know where we're going. So that is why I'm showing you the end game. All right. So we move on now. Aha! So we got to look at the beginning now. Okay. The beginning is always going to start with the mantra. So our A is the mantra. Our B is wherever we want to go. Any questions?
Nope. That's good.
Clear as hell?
Absolutely.
Right. Moving on. The mantra. If you wanted me to summarize the mantra, this picture does it. The mantra is mastering yourself to master the trade. But most people think, oh, I got to master the trade. I got to master the trade. No, that's where you're going wrong. Because you can't master the trade if you can't master yourself. And go back to driving again. You can't master yourself. You're drunk, or you're not quite with it, or you don't even know how to drive. Please tell me how you're going to master the driving.
Yeah.
It cannot work. Yes or no?
No, you're absolutely right.
Impossible. But yet, somebody told you that all you need to do is put 200 quid in a trading account. You don't need to know nothing about trading, and you're going to turn that into millions. And you believed it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay? Right. So, trading is easy. If you look, we are called the easy trading with me step by step. Trading is easy when you have a coach. Okay? Because the coach has already been there and done that. And you're going to follow their lead step by step. That's when trading is easy. But when you decide that you want to go this alone, you haven't got a clue what the hell you're doing, right? You will never get there because you haven't learned the fundamental principles. And I'm showing you what they are now. Master yourself. This is self-mastery so that you can then master the trade. Let's keep it moving. Now we're going to break this down. As a master trader, you have 3 jobs. Okay? The first job is to manage pink elephants. Pink elephants. Now you're going to say, oh, pink elephants don't exist. Well, until you show me that they're not there, they're there. So prove to me that they're not there, and then they're not there. But until you show me that they're not there, they do exist. I'll give an example. I say to you, take the next left. Because there's pink elephants around the corner, I would like you to take it safely. You're going to say, but there's no pink elephants around the corner. You can't see around the corner though, you know. So you're telling me that there's no pink elephants around the corner. I'm going to say, well, how do you know there's no pink elephants? Can you see around the corner to tell me there's no pink elephants? So until you know for sure there's no pink elephant around that corner, as far as I'm concerned, there's a pink elephant around the bloody corner. Do you get that one?
Absolutely.
Good. The next one is brown. Brown elephants. Oh, master, brown elephants don't exist. Okay. Same again. Okay. We call brown elephants distractions. Pink elephants, they can be any freaking thing. Demons, you name it. All right. Okay. Pink elephants, it's out to destroy you. Pink elephants. Brown elephants is leaves. They're out to distract you. Leaves. So you're driving down the road and you start paying attention to the leaves, what's going to happen, please?
Well, distractions will stop you from getting there
Safely.
Yeah.
But you're going to say that I needed the detail. I needed to see the leaves because the leaves are on the floor. So you convinced yourself that I needed the detail. But the detail now became risky because you're watching the leaves instead of watching the road. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So your job is to pay attention to the pink elephants. Another word for pink elephants is hazards. Hazards. Things that are going to stop you from going where you need to go safely is a hazard. So you need to pay attention to the pink elephants. But guess what? You're not paying attention to the pink elephants because you're watching the leaves. Yeah? You're being distracted. So pink elephants, brown means leaves. Brown means distractions. Get it?
Yeah.
Now, blue. You can't pay attention to the pink elephants. You can't stop watching the leaves because you haven't mastered yourself. So blue is yourself. So you got to supervise you. You think about you driving that car. You're in the driving seat. You are the one responsible for what you see and what you say and what you sort. You, the driver, is in the driving seat, making the decisions. Make sense?
Yes.
So this is it right there. This is a breakdown of mastery. Can you master the pink elephants? When they show up, can you deal with them? Can you stop being distracted by the leaves along the way? And can you maintain control of yourself throughout the process? As the pink elephants tried to mess you up, can you still maintain control of yourself? As the leaves turn up to try and distract you, can you still compose yourself? Any questions, Kath?
No, I like this. Yeah.
So now,
making sense.
by now, my students would have been all over me. Oh, I don't understand this. Da, 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 what is this about? Da, da, da. Why are you not doing that?
I like a good analogy. And you know something? I think this is very important because I think the pink, do you know what I think? I think I see the pink, the brown, and the blue all the time. The brown is your indicators and all the nonsense that sometimes goes on a chart, and you buy them, and we've all done it, by the way. We've all bought those fabulous indicators that are going to change the world and going to make the chart, and you kind of, after a couple of months, you kind of go, I'm not sure, actually. Been paying an awful lot of attention to those indicators, and they're not really. The hazards are the hazards. And do you know what? And sometimes you just don't see them coming until they've gone, and you kind of look at the chart and go, do you know what? I really should have known better than to stay in that trade, because I should have pulled out, because all the indications, if I was watching price properly, if I was doing it properly, everything was going the other way. What on earth did I stand for? And of course, all of that is manageable, I guess. Those two, the brown and the pink, are all manageable if you're in control. That's the blue.
Yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just like with driving, you had to learn to control yourself. Your driving instructor had to teach you to stop taking your hands off the wheel and hitting the gas pedal every time you saw a hazard. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was self-control. Make sense? Good. Yep. Good. That's good stuff. Moving on. I'm only breaking down the mantra to you because everyone wants to say, what's this mantra? Why you keep going on about the mantra like it's the Holy Grail? You can clearly see now why it's the Holy Grail. We haven't even got on the charts yet. Okay, good. Now, what we're going to do now is break down the mantra in smaller sizes. This lesson is terminology. Okay, because if you don't understand the terminology, I can't do anything more with you. So I'm assessing today how quick you pick up the terminology. All right. So what we're doing now is we're breaking down the mantra, and we're starting with what we call our biggest weapon. Our biggest defense is POM. Our biggest defense is POM. Repeat that, please, Kath.
Our biggest defense is POM.
Right. Now, why it's a good defense is it's like an eraser. You know, like you're drawing on a board and it's all gone pear-shaped. You can just press a button and erase the whole damn thing. Who's back in control now? Once you've erased everything, who's back in control?
You are.
Good. Now, let's use POM. POM is a scientific process. It's scientific. I've not just made it up. It's scientific for you to be safe on the road. Okay? So I'll give you an example. When you're moving away, you don't just move off, okay? You don't just take massive action. You don't just take massive action. If you do, you're going to kill yourself eventually. Why?
Because you've not seen the hazards.
Because in order for you to move off safely, you prepare yourself, you observe, and then you take massive action, okay? If you don't do that, you're not getting your driving license. There's nobody on here, there's nobody who's got a driving license that got it without POM. If you didn't use POM, you would not have your driving license. I'll tell you that now, categorically, okay? You had to demonstrate to the examiner that you could prepare yourself properly, observe properly, and then take action. Yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
Now, you've got to do this in two parts. Internally first, then externally. Stop trying to do it externally first, because it's the internal that controls the external. All right?
The internal, are we talking about mindset?
Yes, mindset. Right, so what I'm going to say to you now is, let's use driving again. If I'm sitting here, my head, what's going on up here, controls my hands and feet.
Right.
What's going up on here is now going to dictate what these hands do and what my feet do. So I've got to get my head right? Because if my head has gone, oh, Jesus, articulated Lowy coming towards me, I'm lost it now. So my hands and feet is going to do something stupid. Why?
Because you're not in control.
Now you're talking. So internally, you wasn't righted because internally you had the wrong attitude about the articulated Lowy coming towards you. You had the wrong attitude. You're forgetting that it's your job to deal with pink elephants, leaves, and yourself. All of a sudden, you've forgotten your job. Am I making sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So a pink elephant's coming towards you, and now you're saying, oh shit. So if I hear my pupil say, oh shit, I'm already going for the dual controls.
I need to take over.
The minute I hear, oh shit, that's it. I'm taking back over. Because I'm not supposed to be hearing oh shit. Am I?
No, absolutely.
There you are. Not. So if I hear that, I know they've lost the plot. Okay? They've lost it already. So I am not going to let their hands, I'm going to lock up their hands and their feet so that they can't do anything stupid. Okay? Now, it's better if they said, oh shit, out loud, because at least I know what was coming. You see the quiet ones? That's even worse. So what do I mean by that is, you didn't say anything at all, but I'm now going to read your body language. So I'm now looking at your eyes and your eyes are popping out your head. When the low is coming towards you, I'm still going to lock up your hands and feet. Why?
Because you're not in control.
That's right. Now we're going to bring it to trading. I promise you, if you start paying attention to you when you're anywhere near the chart and somebody was recording you, you wouldn't believe the way that you behave.
Really?
Try it.
Is it possible to, because there is a nervousness, you know, when you go live.
All right. I promise you, you are not as in control as you think.
Right.
You are saying, oh shit, so many times, especially every time the trade is going red. Instead of green, you are going, oh shit. Okay? But that oh shit can get worse because the market makers are there to manipulate you. So the trade could be going in the right direction, but because they went like that, you, oh shit, and you closed the damn trade and pressed, you went and did press, oh shit, I just closed the trade. Why did you close the trade? Because you're panicking, because the market's so volatile. Oh shit, I don't want to lose that much. Oh my God, bottom's dropped out. Am I making sense?
It's one of the reasons that I only scalp.
There you are. So what I'm saying is that internal, oh shit, if I can use that expression, is there. And so therefore, what we've got to do is we've got to teach you to prepare yourself for trading, observe yourself, and then take massive action. That's just the internal side. The external side is actually all the things around you. Okay, because you've got to make sure that your charts are optimized. You've got to make sure your MT4 is optimized. So you've got to make sure your tools are optimized. So you've got to be optimized, and then your tools have to be optimized. Just like a car. Okay, I can say, right, I'm optimized. I'm really prepared to drive this car. I'm observing and I'm going to take massive action. But guess what? The freaking brakes ain't working.
Oops.
Oops. So externally, there's a big problem now. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Good. So internally, we got to deal with that, but externally. But 9 times out of 10, when there's big road fatalities on the road, it's not because the brakes went. Why are there so many fatalities on the road if it's not because the brakes went?
Well, there's a lot of people who are not good drivers, and you do wonder how they pass the test. And this is the other thing, and I suppose bringing it back to trading, why would you give somebody $100,000 to trade with if they've not got it all going on?
There you are. All right. So consistency. Yeah, somebody might have started off good, but then they could let all these bad habits creep in and they're not consistent with their actions. Okay, good. So moving on. Now we're going to break down the preparation. Now, as I said, it might appear a lot today, But this is terminology, and we can't go any further until you learn this. So the exercise I'm going to do for you until we meet again is I want you to learn this, okay? So preparation, we've got some examples of preparation, all right? MSTP, MSTP, I'll say it one more time, MSTP stands for mindset. You got to have the right mindset, the skills, the tools, and know how to protect yourself. Kath, could you repeat that, please?
MSTP, the mindset, skills, tools, and
Protection.
protection.
Yeah, okay. All right. You cannot think about trading or doing anything. You ain't got the right mindset. You don't have the skills necessary. You don't have the tools, and you can't protect yourself. Forget it. Yes or no?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Now, if you do have the MSTP, which that's a language we use, we then need the MST. And the MSC stands for the money management, the space management, and the time management. So you do have the mindset, the skills, the tools, and you can protect yourself, but you ain't got no money. You can't trade with no money. Okay. You need some money, whether it's your money or other people's money, it doesn't matter, or other banks' money. Where's the money? Okay. All right. So let's really cut to the chase. You need the money and you need to manage the money. All right. You need the space. Okay. So you got the money, but you ain't got no space. You got the kids running around you, screaming around. You got this, that. You got the husband in your ears. You got this, that, and the other. You can't trade like that. You need the space to trade mentally, physically, emotionally. Am I making sense?
Yes.
And then you've got the T, the time. So you've got the money, you've got the space, but you ain't got the time. Oh, I'm rushing. I'm just going to, I've got 20 minutes. Let me try and get this trade on in 20 minutes. Not good.
I can tell you from that is not a good place to be. No. Desperately having half an hour.
No.
And thinking, oh, I've got half an hour to make a trade.
No. So look at the traffic light system. You see it's in red. Yeah. MSTP and MST, red. And you see preparation is in red? Yeah. Okay, that's traffic lights. Red light, you don't go through red lights. So if that is an issue, we stop right here. Unless you want to lose your money. If you want to lose your money, might as well just give it to me. Any questions? No, clear? Clear, yes. Clear. Good. Now, yes. Amber light. So we've got the preparation, kind of, not fully, because we've dealt with the red light part, which is the most important part. That's 80% of it. Just the MSTP and the MST is 80% of preparation. Now we've still got the amber, what we call the 3 S's. The amber stands for see, say, and sort. See it, say it, sort it. Okay? Done. All right? Now, in driving, you ain't passing your test unless you demonstrate those 3 things. We need to know that you can see it. Okay? That you can say it. We know if you're saying it, whether you say it out loud or not, we know. There is what we call narrative. I had to do a narrative test. I can't just go in the driving test quiet. I have to actually be polite police. I have to say traffic lights ahead. I'm going to close, come off the brakes, slow down. Now, have you seen professional traders? They actually say it. They don't just sit on the chart like this. They say, right, okay, the 4-hour time frame is showing a buy. On the 1 minute is that they're talking, they're saying it. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Now, by saying it, you have more control over your behavior than if you sit here quiet. Would you agree?
Is it sort of like an
affirmation, and it checks supervision of yourself?
Yeah.
So it's supervising yourself, because when you hear yourself talking, you can hear if you were going to do, would you say this out loud? Right, I know the trend is going up, but I'm going to take sell instead. Would you say that out loud?
No. So you
but you would, but you would do it quietly though.
Yeah.
Ah, go on then.
So so this is reinforcing your decisions.
Yes. Okay, so that your decisions are the right decisions. So you see, say, and sort. Right? So you don't sort anything until you can see it clearly and you can say it. Our expression when I'm training is to say, make sure you're 1,000% sure about what you're not 100% sure. Make sure you're 1,000% sure about what you're going to do. 1,000% sure of your hands and feet's going to do something. Make sure you're 1,000% sure of what your hands and feet are going to do, because it's your hands that have to press the sell button and the buy button, and it's your feet that need to walk away from the trade. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Good, perfect. Now amber zone. So now we're going into the green zone. And this is the one that most traders want, and they don't want nothing else. What session, what strategy, what source, and what system do you use? That's the question that a lot of amateurs ask. What's your session? What's your session? What source do you trade? What session do you trade? What source do you trade? What strategy do you use? And what system do you use? So they only want that, and they don't want anything to do with what I've done earlier. And they wonder why they lose the money. Feedback.
Yes.
Powerful?
Yes, actually.
Why is it powerful?
Because before you get to the green bit,
yes,
there's an you've collected your thoughts,
yes,
Marcia.
yes.
You have affirmed you're in the right direction. You're
yes.
prepared. You know, that's actually quite, and I think some of us, I think I do some of that, but I don't think I do it all.
You don't. Okay? There is no if, buts, or maybe. You don't. Because if you're losing consistently, you're not doing it. Okay?
I'm not losing consistently.
What?
I'm just in and out too fast, and I don't make a lot of money.
Yes, but what I'm saying is if I told you that to pass your test, you're going to have to do this, reverse around the corner, around a couple of roundabouts, we're going to have to go around this circuit, we're going to have to do this, and we could shortcut it. You're not going to do it. You're not done what you're supposed to do. Makes sense?
I'm the driver that goes to the end of the road, picks up a loaf of bread and a bag of crisps every morning, comes back, and that's the only driving I do. I couldn't drive to London. I couldn't drive to Europe. That's the difference here.
That's right. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So
we've got to sort that out.
Session.
What was? Yeah, don't. As I said, it's called 4 S's. So we've got 3 S's: say and sort, and we've got 4 S's, which is what session, and then you break that down. What source are you trading? Pound, USD, indexes, metals, whatever. What source? What strategy and what system? What session? What source? What strategy? What system? What session? What source? What strategy? What system?
Right.
Okay, cool. Now, as I said, don't try and get all of this in one go, but you do have homework to do. Okay, but this session is an assessment. I can't expect you to get it all in today. Okay. In today. Perfect. Moving on. Preparation. Now we got observation. So on your marks, get set. All right. Now we're going to break down the observations. Okay. And that is 18. Aware, alert, anticipation of risk. Okay. You're not using your 18. Let's forget it. You're not aware. You're not even alert. You're not anticipating the risk. Next, you're going to fail on observations. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So you're not even aware that you're doing foolishness on the charts. You're not even alert. Because if you was alert, you'd wake yourself up and say, what the hell am I doing? The trade is going down and I'm going up. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
And you're not anticipating the risk because you've got no stop loss on. Okay? And you're not even aware that the news is about to come out. Good stuff?
Yeah.
Now we've got a B team, a C team, a D team, and an E team. We're not going to talk about it today. Okay? We're not going to get into the others, because if you can't get this right, we don't even need to talk about the rest. This is dangerous. All right? You're not working with a good A team. We don't need to talk about the B team, the C team, the D team, and the E team. Any questions?
No. Thank you.
Good. Now, what we've got now is what we call the 3 Fs. The 3 Fs, okay? They stand for fear, ego, and greed, fear, uncertainty, and desperation, and fear of missing out. So we call them 3 Fs. You're suffering from one of them or all of them, it's the same thing. Whether it's all three or whether it's one of them, it's the same thing. You are high risk. Now, the market makers, they know that we are fearful of losing money. There's a serious emotional attachment to our money. So we're fearful of losing it. So they will easily use tactics to make you make the wrong decision. Even when you're in the right direction, you're still going to sabotage your trades because, oh my God, fear of missing out. You know what I mean? Oh, fear, uncertainty, desperation. Oh my God, I need this to go. So I can pay my mortgage at the end of the month. So let me put another lot size on top of it. Okay. Feg of fear, ego. It's going the wrong way. Why don't you just close the trade? Or greed. You've hit your take profit. Why are you still in the trade? Feedback, please, Kath.
I'm guilty of a few of those, actually. And actually, not so much ego. I think desperate. I'm not an egotistical trader.
Okay.
I'm not a greedy trader, but very, very, very definitely uncertainty, a little bit desperate. And I can totally relate to missing out on something.
That's right.
So getting late. Yeah, getting late after the move is gone.
Good. Okay. So 3 Fs we call them, and as I said, if there's any one of them that show up, it doesn't. It might as well make all 3 of them show up. So we don't care whether one has shown up, and I mean, even if it's just uncertainty, if one of them has shown up, they've all shown up. Any questions?
Yeah.
Good. Now we move on. Me, myself, and I. You remember I talked about the blue earlier? I said to you that it's self-mastery.
Yeah.
Well, now we're breaking down what self-mastery is. Do you realize there's 3 of us? Now, this subject, I have to be very careful when I bring up this subject because this could turn people off. But you know what? I'm going to say it as it is. Okay, so guess what? We've got me. Right now, there's me. But then there's myself. So there's me that's saying, I'm going to buy. But there's myself saying, no, but Marcy, it could turn round. Yeah, but me saying, but the trend is up. And myself is saying, yeah, but it can reverse. So that means there's 2 of us, yes or no?
Yes.
Now there's I, which is the person on the outside that should be supervising me, myself, and saying, no, do what you said you were going to do with your plan, regardless of what the hell the market, because you don't know if the market's going to continue going up and you don't know if the market's going to go down. So I is going to supervise me and myself and make the right decision. So that means there's 3 of us. Get your head around that one.
I do recognize the 2, but not the 3.
Okay.
That's a new one, actually, Marcia.
Right, good. You've heard it before, me, myself, and I.
It's a good Joan Armour trading track, actually, but yeah.
Good. Right, but now I'm breaking it down. You ready?
Go on.
Me, I said the market's going up. Me. Done? Me said, myself said, no, it isn't. It's going down. So that means there's 2 of us. I said it's going up. Myself said it's going down. What happened there? I said it's going up. Myself said it's going down. Where'd that come from? What's happened there? Why am I saying it's going up, but myself is saying, no, it isn't. Actually, no, it isn't actually. It's actually going down. Think about it. Just think about it for a second. Do you get it? You don't get it? You still don't get it yet? If you don't get it, just tell me and I'll give you another example.
I think so. I think the I is the adult in the room, isn't it? And your
It-
indecision is me and myself.
right. So what I'm saying is, you will say, you can say it out loud. You'll hear the madness coming out loud. You will say, right, it's an uptrend, I'm buying. You just said it. Me just said, I am buying. And then something in your ear says, myself says, no, I don't think you should buy, because look how high it's been. It's, it could actually be reversing right now. So what just happened there?
Yeah,
What just happened?
so the indecision creeps in.
There's two of you. That means
yeah.
there's the opposite. One is telling you one thing and the other thing's telling you another.
Yeah, I get
So
it.
there's two of you, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. But then the I is now got to be you that is observing this behavior. And then you make the right decision based on this dialogue that is happening. So it's like a supervisor, a third person. Make sense? So
Yeah.
you now want to stand outside of yourself, listening to this dialogue between me and myself. And I is going to step in and say, you know something? No, this is what we should do. Okay?
Yeah.
And so there's me, myself, and I. All right, don't worry. I will be doing a lot on that subject because it's so important. All right.
It's standing back, isn't it, from the indecision?
Yes. Coming away from yourself and looking at it now and say, okay, so me said this, myself said this. Now, what's the right decision?
It's the third party. It's that
That's
part of
right.
you that can stand back behind it all and
Yes.
go, yes, your rationale, which
Yes.
the rationale, the first rationale was the right one, and
Good.
making the decision. I've got it. I've got it now.
Good. All right, but we will be doing.
Thank you.
We'll be doing more on that. Now we're going to talk about the leaves. Remember, I told you about the brown and the pink. Okay. Now, observations. You need to observe. Am I actually doing leaves here, or am I actually looking at what I should be looking at? So the leaves is, oh yeah, but that's that indicator there, and it's not colliding with that indicator and that one. So you're doing leaves now because you're paying attention to the wrong things.
Yeah.
You understand? And now you're not watching the price action no more. Now you're not seeing that actually we're about to hit a resistance line. You're missing the obvious because you're sitting there doing leaves. Am I making sense?
Yes, totally get that one.
Right. And then the last one is the pink elephants. And that is, well, you're on the chart and all of a sudden the bloody internet went. And you're really upset now. And your head's rolling on the floor and you're trying desperately to get the internet back on. And guess what happened? You did get back the internet. But guess what? That's gone. And you are not realizing that you allowed the pink elephant to mess up your head and you did not reset yourself. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So pink elephants are there to cause chaos. And your job is to manage the pink elephants, but also reset yourself. In other words, let's say that somebody pulled out in front of me, okay, right at a junction, yeah, or a roundabout. I've got to deal with that pink elephant. But then after I deal with the pink elephant, I've also got to calm myself down and get myself back focused again before that incident happened. Why have I got to do that? Why have I got to do that? Wait a minute, 1 second. Yeah. Why have I got to do that? Any idea why I've got to just got
because
to turn
you're
off my
not
phone?
safe unless you've hit the reset button.
That's
unless
right.
your head's back in the game. If it's screwed you up, you just have to step away from it. You have to stop the car. If we're looking at driving analogies, stop the car, step away from it, and give yourself a break.
And if you don't do that with trading, it will consume you and eventually it will make you do stupid things. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any questions about observations?
No, that was good. That's great. Right, thank you.
So can you see that we talk a language? This is very unique. Nobody in the world talks this language. Okay. 18, 3 Fs, me, myself, and I, leaves, and pink elephants. You got to learn our language. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now we're talking about massive action now. So we've done that now. So guess what we've done? We're prepared. On your marks, get set, go. Now, what happens if there's a gap in the road and you've finally been able to take the gap and you didn't take it? What happens now as a driver?
Ask the question again, sorry. My apologies. I
Right.
was
So you've been there.
writing
Good.
something down.
Right. You were waiting at the side of a road for a gap. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So your preparation, and you had to keep preparing for the gap. You observed, done your blind spot, signal, everything. And then there's a gap in the road and you didn't take it. What happens now?
Why wouldn't I have taken it?
Because people don't.
Okay.
How many times have you done that when you were learning to drive? There was a gap and you didn't take the gap.
No, that's nervous. That's the bad nerves. That is
Ah,
it big enough? Is it, that's back into the observation
no,
side.
that's
You either
right.
move or you
That's
don't. You
right.
kind
So
of just do it and
no,
move
you've gone
on.
back into this. You're stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck. You're
So there
suffering.
shouldn't be anything stopping you from taking
No,
that move.
right.
If you've done all, and it's all
Good,
confident and you're
good,
happy with it and it's
good.
all good,
But you didn't take the trade.
but why wouldn't you?
Well, I just told you why.
Okay.
I just told you why. The gap is there. Go on, off you go. No. But what is this? This is the me, myself, and I crazy
Me, myself,
stuff.
and I having problems again.
Crazy again, and all start talking, making things up in your head, and now you've missed the opportunity. Okay, and then by the time you did take the opportunity, the bloody trader, you missed the trade. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Good, especially if you're scalping. Okay, now I'm going to tell you this. COA can help you to take the massive action. So in other words, we know you can freeze up when it comes to taking massive action. So we use another process, it's called COA. COA stands for control, observe, accuracy. So we still say, listen, am I in control? I'm about to take massive action. Am I in control of myself? Yes. Am I observing myself the way I told you? Yes. Am I accurate? Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect. This thing called perfection is going to mess you up. There's no such thing as perfection. So we need to stop this crap. That's what they try to teach you at school. It's bullshit. Excuse my French. Right? We're not here to be perfect. We only care about being accurate. So when you're driving on the road, if you was trying to be perfect on the motorway, you're going to crash the vehicle. Try it. Try and be perfect on the motorway and you'll soon see. Keep the wheel straight then, dead straight, and see what happens.
Yeah.
You're going to crash the car. Okay, yeah. So we're not trying to be perfect. When we're on the motorway, we're like this in the lane. That's what we're doing. We're not trying to be perfect, but what are we doing? We're being accurate. The bloody road, the road's going like this, it's going like this, it's going like this, and we're trying to stay in the lane, and we're all like this. We're not perfect. We're far from it. We're like this all the time.
Correct.
Yeah. So we're not trying to be perfect. We are trying to be dynamic, accurate. We are moving with the flow of what's going on. We are dynamic. We are accurate. We are not trying to be perfect. An aeroplane is going to its destination. It is not going in a straight line. Contrary to what it looks like, that plane is always going off course. Okay? Yeah. And it's like this being put back on course. Any questions?
No, that makes sense to me.
COA, control, observations, accuracy. Now, what you've just seen there is scientific. It's actually, you wouldn't have passed your test without it, what you just see there. All right? You had to demonstrate control. You had to demonstrate effective observations and accuracy. You would not have got your license. Okay? And now we're bringing this into trading. Okay? So trading is easier than driving. Jesus Christ. Give me teaching people to trade any day. When you've got somebody live in front of you, coming in front of an Arctic lorry, and you sitting there trying to teach them, give me trading any day. Good. All right. So now we move on. 8-step mantra.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
Do people who... So it's really... This might sound like a really, really stupid question.
Go on.
But you've just said something that's piqued my interest a little bit there.
Go on.
Do people who struggle to drive struggle to trade? Or the other way?
No, let me explain something. Trading is a standalone environment. Even I struggled to trade, and I'm a driving instructor. Right. because it's until you wake up 18, until you wake up and realize, actually, I am driving. When I'm trading, I'm driving. Until you wake up to that one, you're fast asleep. You're in your own world. That's the first thing. And secondly, you still need practicing. So even though I woke up and said, but Master, you've got this, you know what to do already. I still had to start to practice it so I was familiar, so that the environment became familiar, familiarity, yeah?
Yes, yes.
So no, it's a standalone thing. None of us will be able to do this unless we practice it. Okay? None of
Right.
us. All right? It's like you got to, it's called trading in the zone. You got to get yourself in the zone. Okay? Any questions?
That's it. No, thank you very much.
Good. Right. The next one now is massive action, COA. And then what is COA? Well, that's what we call the 8-step mantra. So to get that control, to get that observation and get that accuracy, we break that down into 8 steps called the mantra. You get it? All right. Yeah. And then you rinse and repeat it. For every trade, you rinse and repeat the mantra. Now, I know what you're thinking. So are you telling me, Master, that every time I take a trade, I've got to follow the mantra? And then my answer is yes. Now you're going to say, yeah, but that's time consuming. Okay. So every time you stopped at the traffic light, did you not have to slow down, handbrake neutral, and then clutch down, put it back into first gear? And every single bloody traffic light, did you not have to keep repeating the same process over and over again till you safely reached your destination?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
sir. So
absolutely.
Why do you not want to do that with your money?
I would hope that this becomes so natural and
Yes.
so ingrained that it doesn't feel slow, it doesn't feel labored, it just feels natural.
Well, the same happened with your driving. I remember my one of my students like, are you serious? I have to keep putting handbrake neutral every time. I have to keep putting the clutch down, put it in for. I can never do this. This is what that pupil said, I'm never going to get this. This is too much. And now I see them whizzing past me the other day. I was like, look at that. Look at that. That's the same people that told me that they would never be able to get this. It just becomes automatic. Okay. But it's only through repetition and lots of practice. Agreed?
Yeah.
Now, the question is it worth it? Well, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. But I'm telling you now, I've been around the block 15 years now, and I've seen all these traders, and I've seen them all. Okay. They win a bit, and then they get completely destroyed. And then they come back again and win a bit, and they get completely destroyed. The ones that are prepared to put them through structure, discipline, and mantra, they're the ones that are going to survive. And that is the ha moment. And you got to wake up to that reality. And I certainly have. Any questions?
No, that's great.
Good. Now we move on. Now we're actually doing it now. So you ready to see me do the mantra?
Go on then.
Okay, so what we do, we've got a checklist, all right? And we do this. We do 4 L's, internal, external, all right? Now, before I go any further, I think I should give you an overview because I've got 14 years experience. So I'm going to give you an overview and we'll come back to this, okay? So we have what we call a cheat sheet, all right? And I'm going to try and pull it up for you. Let's see where it is. Okay, so here we go. Where is the cheat sheet? Here we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Right, so we have a cheat sheet. This is 14 years of experience in the game in one sheet. All right. So basically, if you print this off, you put in here what your aids to be is. So what is it you want? Remember, you've seen one of my videos with my pupils, and they said, right, we've got 50 grand and we want to take it to 54. Simple. So A is 50 grand, B is 54. When you've hit 54,000, you're out. You're out, you're done. Because you've done it. You've reached your destination.
And is this every day? So there's somebody looking...
Yeah, it can be every day, every session. It all depends what you're trying to do. So every session, if you're trading more than one, let's say you're doing the US 30 session, right? The American market. Then it will be, this is what I need to do for this session. And you write it in there. I've got this amount of money and I want to take it to that. Done. Okay?
Yeah.
Keep it simple, right? Now, the danger is that you got 50 grand, you want to take it to 54. It's hit 54 and you decided that you want to carry on. What are you suffering from? Let's go to the list on the left and then we'll talk about it. This is your checklist on the left. This is self-mastery. So what's on the left?
I would say it was one of the three F's, which is the fear, ego, and greed.
That's
Sort of
right.
maybe the greedy bit.
Or the
Yeah.
fear of missing out.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Or the desperation, well, that's not enough to pay the mortgage. Let me try and see if I can double up.
Right.
So here is this keeps you safe if you go through this on the left hand side. Question mark is where's my damn head? Because remember I told you your head controls your hands and feet. So if we can keep the head under control, the hands and feet will be under control. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So that's why we put a big question mark there to say, where's my head? Where's my head? So now you break down where's my head. Did I do my 4 L's? What are the 4 L's? It's like a mantra. It's like a calming process. Like, what kind of day am I having? Is it a lucky day, a low day, a losing day, a low? Just checking in. You understand what I'm saying? It's a spiritual thing. You've got to kind of center yourself, okay? Very important. Take deep breaths, a bit of meditation. A lot of the big traders do meditation and things like that, yeah? Especially when they're putting on millions on a trade. So you calm yourself. Very important, all right? Mantra, now we break down the mantra. A team, remember I told you about the A team? Are you aware? Are you alert? Are you anticipating risk? Yeah. Am I faking myself up? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
MST, have I got the right amount of money, the space and the time? Am I in control? Am I observing? Am I being accurate? Do I have the right mindset, the skills, the tools, and can I protect myself? Am I seeing it, saying it, sorting it? And do I know what session I'm trading, what source, what strategy, and what system? And me, myself, and I. Remember that one on the side? Me, myself, and I. If you are paying attention to this checklist as you try to go from A to B, this is like your map. Like along the way, you check your map to see milestones. That is, if you keep an eye on this, you are going to be a safe trader. You're not going to be perfect, but you're going to be safe. I'm telling you that now. And that's all you want to be. You just want to take valid trades. Your trade is not valid if it's not safe. And it's not safe if you're not following the mantra. Any questions? Okay. Any questions? Good. Right, now we move this down here. Remember I told you about the blue? Where's my head? That's the blue. Remember I told you, me, myself, and I. Yeah. Okay. So if you keep an eye on this when you're trading, you literally have it on a big board in front of you. It keeps you out of trouble. Where's my head? Pink elephants, leaves. I'm not doing leaves. My job is to manage the pink elephants, the leaves, and the pink elephants, the leaves, and myself. So this is just a quick reminder that your job is to manage pink elephants. So when they show up, stop freaking out, right? When you see the distractions, don't get caught up in the distractions, the leaves. And remember, where's your head? Where's my head? Where's my head? And always remember, POM. I can always go back to the beginning, erase. Worst case scenario, I'm just going to bloody come off the damn chart. Yeah. No deal. Okay? 80% is in your preparation. 10% is in your observation and 10% is in the massive action. There's the red light, traffic light system, preparation, observation, massive action. This whole process will keep you safe, okay? And then we've got a checklist over here. Now, I'm going to break this down and give you some ideas of how to use it. But if you look, you'll see the traffic light system again. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to put your top 3 things in here. That is crucial, right, to get things done. Then you're going to put the amber stuff. And then you put the green, and that's how you do a checklist, okay? Your checklist must never, no checklist must ever have more than 10 things on it. Never, or else it's too complicated, okay? So red light, amber, that means you've got to think before you put anything in here, because you're going to put the top 3 things in here, okay? That's your preparation, that's your observation, and that's how we get things done. This is scientifically proven. Okay, you prepare, you observe, and then you take massive action. That's how you get results. And then you structure it. What is the most important thing? Red light, amber light, green light. Now, when you practice this, it becomes second nature. Okay, and then you tick them off as, all right, I've done that, 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 and then you just do it. Okay. Now we have an 8-step process that we put in here. and then we would just add that in. Okay, so I just thought I'd give you what is for 14 to 15 years in the business right here in one sheet. We call it the cheat sheet. This is very valuable. I could charge a fortune for this alone. Okay, right. Any
Looks really good.
just going to take a pause for a minute because we've actually done an hour, and I just kind of want to just have a little 5 minutes just to check in where you're at. What is it meeting your expectations? Just be totally honest with me. So feedback, please, on what you've learned so
Yeah, no,
far.
I'm happy. Yes. So I think I'm going to get a lot out of this. I'm fantastic in simulated. That's a Ninja Trader
Yeah,
terminology, by
yeah,
the way.
yeah.
Like,
Yes, I know
don't know.
Ninja Trader.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Mm,
I'm fantastic in sim. I'm
mm,
fantastic if all I'm looking for is $100,
mm-hmm.
and I can get in and out. And I've got some nice little what I call set
Yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
But just to get that $100
Mm,
exhausts me, Marcia.
I know.
And
Stressful.
it is.
Mm,
And I recognize that I'm a total amateur, actually. I've just met some really good people along the way
yeah,
who I can talk to and we can take trades with.
yeah.
So for me, this feels like the feedback for me here feels like, you see, the other thing for a living, I'm an auditor. So
Yeah.
uh, I'm risk averse,
Yes.
but I can get in a car, Marcia, and drive to the south of France. And I can do that in a left-hand or a right-hand drive car, an articulated lorry, a
Yeah, I
bus,
love it.
or a Lamborghini. And I'm
Yeah.
quite an aggressive and confident driver. If I'm aggressive anywhere, it's behind the wheel. So you'll get that analogy. But I do think I'm a total bloody amateur when I'm trading.
I've told you why.
And I know loads of things. I am a bloody expert and cannot make more than a few $100 a week.
Well, I've just explained why. Because you haven't taken your driving lessons. You just went out there and did your own thing, and you don't have structure. And so you really just trading by the edge of your pants, or I call it, right, dominating the world in your underpants. And good on you. At least you ain't been losing money. But trust me, there's millions of people losing millions, and they won't
I
stop.
think my job is to protect my capital,
Okay.
and I'm brilliant at that. I'm not very good at being aggressive and confident and going, do you
Yeah.
know what? And I beat myself up as well. I
Good.
give myself a good talking
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
when it doesn't go my way,
No.
and I lose money. And actually
No.
I kind of need to let that go.
Oh, good. Well, all this course is exactly what this does. So let's finish off, and then
All right.
and that's all we can do today. And then you've got some homework. I completely bombarded you with all of this. You've got to learn the terminology, or we can't go any further. All right. So let's
Okay.
share the screen again, and we get back. So, did you like the cheat sheet? Was that a really good way of me explaining 14 years in the game?
Yes, I've
It's
missed the
faster.
4 L's. I don't know what, I
No,
can't
no,
remember
we're
what the
coming
four
back to that
L's.
now. We're coming back to that now.
Okay.
So now that I gave you an overview, now we're going to break down the 8 steps. Remember we told you about the 8 steps?
Yes.
Right. So
The
we're now going
mantra.
to break, right. So this is what you do. This is what my traders do. Okay. This is what they do. Let's get this zoom out the way. And then we make it a bit bigger. Okay, so let's here. What you do is you check in. So I say to them, let's check in, guys and ladies and gents, and they'll say, okay, internally, what kind of day is it? Internally, am I feeling like a losing day, low day, lucky day, and lazy day? Now you might not think, oh, this is useless, but I'm telling you, if you really stop and be still, and I asked you what kind of day you're having, and you have to choose one of these, which one are you going to choose? Which one are you going to choose? You've got to choose one. How are you feeling right now? You've got to choose one.
Low day.
Good. You see? So you can do it. Now, external, just because you're having a low day doesn't mean the whole world is having a low day. So now I'm going to
Indeed.
ask you externally, what do you think's going on now? Externally. Internally, you're having a low day.
In the world of trading, in the world of the news.
Everything, anything right now, just be still and tell me externally what's going on around you right now. Lucky, you got to give me one answer. Lucky, low, losing, or lazy. Which one? Externally.
I think lucky.
Good. So look at that. You're low internally and externally, it's lucky. So that shows you that we're not synchronized. There are going to be some days when you tell me lucky, lucky. There's some days when you're going to say losing, losing. There's some days when you're going to say low, low. But right now, you're already showing me that internally, and this is in your space, internally it's low, externally it's, what did you say? Lucky.
Lucky.
You see? So that's it. And there's no right or wrong. That's where you're at. You're in your bubble. Now I'm coming over to my bubble and I'm saying lucky, lucky. And then I'll ask somebody else who's on Zoom, who's in another part of the world, and they'll say low, low. Yeah. And that's it. It's all of them are correct. Why? Why? Why is everybody correct?
Because your perspective's your perspective.
Perfect. And that's all that counts. All right. But why are we checking in is because it will have effect on your A team.
Yes.
Just you knowing this, that, hold on a minute, I'm feeling low. Now, do you realize you can change your state before you trade? So if you're feeling low, you can do something about it. You don't have to carry on trading like that. You can start, we call it ting-a-linging. You can start dancing, singing, showering, whatever you need to do, you can change that state. So if you choose to stay with the low, that's your choice. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff?
Yes.
Now we move on. Sit down. Number one, after you've done that check-in, we need to sit down. Okay. Now I've just put some examples. There's a few things, but we're not going to cover that today. But as an example, we've got eating, drinking. Why is it important to make sure that you're fed and watered before you sit down to trade?
Because otherwise it's the distraction, it's leaves, isn't it?
And it can be dangerous.
Yeah. Very
dangerous. Okay. So anything that is dangerous, we got to deal with it. So I've just given you some examples. We call them ting-a-linging. Why? Because there's eating, drinking, showering, parenting. Yeah. Okay. So these things, we'll talk about them in more detail. But do you get the message about the list of things you need to do before you sit down to trade? You've got to do them. Make sense? If you don't do them, they'll bite you in the ass later. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah. No, good. That's good.
Now, tools. And you notice it's in red. It's red meaning danger. If you don't deal with these things, it's dangerous. Now we got the tools. Okay. So you want to trade, and you haven't even got a bloody laptop. Or you haven't got your checklist in front of you. Or your platform's not working. And the list you haven't got a calculator. Yeah? Your battery's not charged. You're asking for trouble. You don't even have your indicators set up. You don't have all the tools you need. Red light. Now, people skip this. They skip all this stuff and they wonder why they're losing money. Any questions?
No.
Would you really go on the motorway and don't make sure that you got petrol in the car? I don't think so. Okay. Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, spreadsheet. This is another one that's overlooked. You want to trade, you want to run on the chart with no plan. That's like going in the car with no map. It's ridiculous. Yes or no?
Ridiculous. I agree.
But how many people do it?
I bet there's quite a few people who are just happy to.
70-80% of people out there that is trading are not trading with any kind of plan. They're just doing it. They're doing it on the chart as and when. They're just making it up as they go along. Yeah. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I was one of them. Okay. Would never dream of doing that ever again. Never. All right.
And when you talk about your plan, is that a daily plan or a weekly plan or a
No, first of all, you need an overall plan.
Yeah,
So the first thing you would say, what the hell are you doing? What are you trading for? When do you know that you've arrived? When do you know that what are you doing this for?
sure.
So
Yeah,
you need an overall plan, and then you now just need to break that down. Okay. All right. But
yeah,
remember, we've got 10 sessions and we've got homework in between. So everything I'm showing you is what you'll see in the end. By the time we get to 8, that's it. That's the course done. That's the course done. Okay.
right.
All right. So now we move on. Trading plan, spreadsheet. Yeah. So you don't even know, like you have a spreadsheet and it can tell you, okay, today I only need to make this amount of money. Yeah. And then tomorrow it shows you what your spreadsheet. So you need spreadsheets, don't you?
Yeah.
Good. So trading plan, spreadsheets, etc. All right. So we're going to break that down. Now we move on. You notice it's going amber now.
Yes, and I think a lot of people would go to 4 before you start,
They're
wouldn't
not.
they?
They all of everything I've taught you so far. It doesn't exist. The only person that knows about the mantra is me. I've never seen anybody, and I've been trading with all these traders, and I'm like, but hold on a minute. Even the 8-minute trader doesn't have a mantra. What the hell is this? Even the 8-minute trader is getting people on the charts. I'm like, what are you doing? You've got all these people that have never traded in their life, and you're there getting them on the chart, telling them about Fibonacci. And this can't work. Okay. Am I making sense?
Absolutely.
Good. Now we move on. So we finally get to the chart. But guess what? Mindset is correct. COA is correct. Preparation is correct. So by the time you get to the chart, you know exactly what you're doing. You've got your spreadsheet, you've got your plan, you've got your tools, you've been fed and watered and done all your washing and cleaning and God knows whatever else you have to do before you sit down. You've got all this, the money, the time, the space. You've done all that stuff. So by the time you get to the chart, you're ready psychologically, mentally to trade. So you do your 4 corners, which I would show you. You then set up your chart with all your indicators and the things that you need, especially if you're using a robot. Then that's it. Guess what? Trade. The actual trade, the skill of trading is knowing how to press a damn button or not pressing a button. That's it.
Yeah.
You press a button and it manages the trade, especially if you telling me about Ninja Trader. I know about Ninja Trader. You can actually pre-program it.
Yes.
So then you just press the button. You just press the buy button, you press the sell button, or you walk away from the trade because there's no deal. So it's a deal or no deal. And if it's a deal, you're buying, you're selling, or you might be doing it later, i.e., a buy limit order, a sell limit order, or something.
Yeah.
So it's buy, sell, no deal. Simple. Any questions? Then it's gone green.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it is that simple. By the time you get to the trade, if you've done everything properly, you're now going into the green light zone. It's all guns blazing now. Okay. But we haven't finished. We haven't finished. You ready? Journal. Journal. Number 6.
Ah.
You got to journal. You got to journal. Journal your learning and journal your mistakes and your to-do list. Learning, mistakes, and to-do list. Okay? Any questions?
No.
Is it making sense?
Perfect.
Can you see its green light?
Yes.
Good, because we're sailing now. We're out of danger. But it can still go back amber because you might do something stupid and go back on the chart. What are you going back on the chart for? You don't want that. Okay? So green light means keep going forward. Number 7, reward. Now you've been telling me you've been doing the opposite. You've been telling me that you've been beating yourself up. You've got to stop that. What you need to do is you need to journal your learning and your mistakes because that's where your riches come from. So stop beating yourself up because you make mistakes. Write it down. What did I learn? What mistakes did I make? What to-do list have I got from this? So stop beating yourself up. What you should be doing instead is you are now going to take a reward. Why? Because you took a valid trade. Why did you take a valid trade? Because you followed the mantra. And what does that mean? It means you're safe. And that's the criteria for you to be a master trader, is that you take safe trades. That's all your job is to do. Okay, you take safe trades. So you reward yourself. Netflix, shopping, etc. Whatever your reward is, there's loads of them. And your reward can be as simple as do the ironing, wash up the plates. They're the most important rewards, actually. I'm going to be honest with you, from my experience, buy myself another Versace top, that bloody wears off.
Mm.
But when I go and do that washing up, tell me who's going to benefit from the washing up, please?
Mm.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. All right. Now, number 8, sign off. You can now sign it off. Robot, because that's what you should have been. You need to demonstrate that you can be a robot and follow a process right through to the very end. You told me you're an auditor, so now action speaks louder than words. Okay, because now you're auditing. I can't say the word. Is it auditing?
Yeah, auditing's right. Yeah,
by
yeah.
auditing yourself. Sign off, robot, followed through, discipline, etc. Okay, that's it, my darling. There is the mantra right there. Okay, any questions, please? Let's go for it now. I'm going to stop this now.